Marquinhos. Neymar. Into Neymar. Could be a chance here. Goes for the return. It's Neymar!
3 years. No Brazil shirt. A knee that was torn apart. A coach who left him out just months before the World Cup. Everyone said Neymar was done. Then, in the 76th minute against Scotland, he walked onto the pitch, and 90,000 people stood up. This is the story of how Neymar fought his way back to the one stage he never conquered. Stay with me because this story is not over yet. Neymar was born in a small town in Brazil called Mogi das Cruzes. His family didn't have much money. For a while, they lived in a single room inside a garage. His father used to be a footballer too, but injuries ended that dream early. So he poured everything into his son. He trained him hard. He pushed him. He believed in him before anyone else did. By the time Neymar was a teenager, he was already turning heads at Santos, the same club where Pelé became a legend. People started calling him the next big thing. He had tricks nobody his age should have been able to do. Defenders looked silly trying to stop him. At just 17 years old, he was already a first-team player. By 19, he was Brazil's most talked-about athlete. In 2011, Neymar helped Santos win the Copa Libertadores, the biggest club trophy in South America. He was electric. Fast feet. Fearless dribbling. A smile that made him a fan favorite everywhere he went. Big European clubs came knocking. In 2013, he chose Barcelona, joining a team that already had Lionel Messi. Together with Luis Suarez, they formed one of the most feared attacking trios in football history. Fans called them MSN. Messi, Suarez, Neymar. That trio destroyed defenses. In the 2014-15 season alone, they scored well over 100 goals combined. Neymar wasn't just playing alongside greatness, he was proving he belonged there. Then came the World Cup on home soil in 2014. Brazil, his country, hosting the tournament. The pressure was massive. Neymar carried the team on his back, scoring goals and creating chances. But in the quarterfinal, he suffered a broken vertebra in his back. He couldn't finish the tournament. Brazil collapsed without him, losing 7-1 in the semifinal. It was one of the most painful nights in Brazilian football history, and Neymar had to watch it from the sidelines. In 2017, Neymar shocked the world. He left Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain in a deal worth €222 million. To this day, no transfer has ever cost more. The move split opinions. Some said he wanted to escape Messi's shadow and become the main star on his own team. Others said the money was too big to turn down. Either way, it changed his career forever. At PSG, Neymar won trophy after trophy domestically, but injuries kept haunting him. Ankle problems, muscle tears, surgeries. Year after year, just as he'd find his best form, his body would break down again. Off the pitch, he became one of the most famous athletes on the planet. Millions of followers, global brand deals. But some fans felt he was more focused on fame than football. Critics said he partied too much. Others defended him, saying every superstar gets picked apart. In 2022, at the World Cup in Qatar, Neymar looked ready to finally deliver Brazil's 6th World Cup title. But once again, heartbreak. Brazil lost to Croatia on penalties in the quarterfinal. Neymar was seen in tears on the pitch, devastated. Then in 2023, he made a surprising move to Saudi Arabia, joining Al Hilal for a massive fee. Just months later, disaster struck. During a World Cup qualifier for Brazil, he tore his ACL, one of the most serious injuries in football. He was carried off on a stretcher in tears. Doctors said his recovery would take a year or more. For almost 3 years after that night, Neymar did not wear the Brazil shirt again. Fans wondered if they had seen the last of him in that yellow jersey. Coaches moved on. Younger players stepped up. The football world started talking about Neymar in the past tense. In January 2025, Neymar made an emotional decision. He signed back with Santos, the club that raised him as a boy. It felt like a homecoming, a chance to rebuild his body, his form, and his story. But when Brazil's new coach picked his World Cup squad, Neymar's name almost didn't make it. He'd even been left out of the squad for friendlies just months before the tournament. Many pundits said including him would be a gamble not worth taking. The coach picked him anyway, saying his experience and leadership mattered, even if he could only give the team a few minutes on the pitch. Then injury struck again. A calf problem kept him out of Brazil's opening matches at the World Cup. He couldn't even train properly with the squad. The doubts grew louder, but in the third group match against Scotland, it finally happened. Neymar came on as a substitute in the second half. The crowd rose to their feet. For the first time in almost 3 years, Neymar was back on a World Cup pitch, wearing the Brazil shirt. It wasn't a fairy tale return with a wonder goal. It was something bigger. It was proof that after everything, the injuries, the doubts, the years away, he refused to give up on this dream. Neymar's story isn't just about goals and trophies. It's about what happens when the whole world writes you off and you keep pushing anyway. He's Brazil's all-time top scorer for the national team, ahead of even Pelé. He's won league titles in Brazil, Spain, and France. He's played in 4 World Cups, something very few players ever get to do. But more than the numbers, his story is about resilience. Every time his body broke down, every time people said he was finished, he found a way to come back one more time. Whether Brazil goes on to win this World Cup or not, Neymar already proved something bigger than a trophy. He proved that giving up was never an option for him. So that's the story of Neymar, the boy from a garage in Mogi das Cruzes who became one of the greatest talents football has ever seen, fell harder than almost anyone, and fought his way back onto the biggest stage in the world. If this story moved you, hit subscribe because we're telling stories like this every week right here on Final Whistle TV. And I want to know what you think. Do you believe Neymar still has one more great moment left in him at this World Cup? Drop your answer in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.